Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Door Shutter, coming back to you with a brand new episode of the Direwolf20 1.21 mod pack, and we still do not have the modern industrialization added to the pack, and I quickly want to talk about that before we switch over to the Rainbow Furnaces on the other side of our system to make this a lot better. I have been attempting to add it, but one of the problems is in modern industrialization there is aluminum, and of course we also have aluminum in XY Craft, right? So I cannot add aluminum to modern industrialization without being compatible with this, because of course a lot of modern industrialization recipes require the actual aluminum tag rather than the aluminum item, right? Which just makes sense because it's how you want to make your mod to make it more compatible. But the problem is I don't have a way to really augment it. I spent a few hours trying to figure out how to switch it over. So one of the things we could do is, this is a separate mod, technically. This is XY Craft World, which does add like Kiwi, the bricks under our feet, and a handful of other things. I mean, we could quickly look at this. XY Craft World. So this, of course, adds all of your gems and everything, which I think are actually used in crafting several machines and stuff. So if we got rid of this, we would not be able to actually do a lot of other things. So that's not an option. We could try and remove all aluminum, which would probably break a couple things. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't really fully went through all the process of seeing if we could get rid of XY Craft aluminum. Because if we do, then we're also going to have the issue of we aren't going to be able to make extractors and other machines and stuff through XY Craft until we progress through modern industrialization, which I want to avoid. I did try messing with tags and making it separate, but that just seems not to work because there's a couple mods in here, like Almost Unified, that just seem to not actually allow for me to whitelist or blacklist that item from being touched. So I'm not sure. There's definitely some stuff that I want to look into. If you guys have any ideas, just give me a shout down in the comments because I would love to hear it. But I have been attempting it. It's just not happening yet. Alright, so Rainbow Furnace. We actually need to craft up 4 of these bad boys. We're also going to, while this is crafting, grab some laser nodes. We're also going to grab 4 node overclockers. Grab some more item cards. And we're actually going to take out these modular routers because they are too slow to do what we're about to do. And I did test that on this side. So we are going to be shifting over. So let's actually clear out these routers real quick. Okay. And also, if you get rid of the camouflage upgrade and then close out of it and then reopen it, you will actually be able to see the upgrades and stuff. And let's quickly just clear these out here real fast. Get them all back to default configuration is exactly what we're doing here. That way they'll stack and all of that good stuff. Okay, so now we're just going to take these guys out. And that will be perfect. So now what we're going to do as well is we're going to take out the augments, which is going to drop all of the items into the world that are in the furnace, but that's okay. So let's quickly just clear this out real fast. And do it this way. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to take these furnaces completely out, which is also going to drop the ender gates, which is what we need as well to power the rainbow furnaces. And let's do that on this side as well. I'm actually just going to take the augments. I don't care if they all drop. They should be actually magnetized, quite a bit of it. Okay. Drop all the ingots that we have. But I did notice several people commented about the Rainbow Furnace. I forgot that it actually does a stack at a time, which is basically anything in this slot, it will smelt it all at once. So if it gets there halfway through, it should smelt it, but I'm not 100% sure too much of the capabilities of this, because I've used it in the past, but it's been a hot minute. But you can see like just the varying numbers at which it's smelting because it's getting items pushed in. And it's quite quick, though. So I also do have the fuel efficiency upgrade in here, which makes it slower, but it's still smelting a stack at a time, so I'm not too concerned about that. Alright. Rainbow Furnace. Let's grab the fuel efficiency upgrades as well. Looks like we may need one more. Yeah, I need one more. Okay. So, blasting. That's not what I meant to do. I thought I put down the rainbow furnaces. Hold on. Oh, where did that crusher go? Whoops. Okay. Rainbow furnace. And we're just going to configure one side. We'll do this right side here. So we will just get our ender gates to power these furnaces real fast. All right. So we're going to do the import and export of these items real quick before we do the actual export of the dust. So on the first one, we're going to insert. There's nothing changed there. On this one, we're going to export. We're going to do on the west direction. I guess there is one thing we need to change. West direction, which is the front of this machine. West direction. And this is also going to be an export card, so it extracts plenty. And then, so the way you figure this out, by the way, if we look up here in the top right, you'll see that we are facing the west direction. So that's how we figure out which way we are actually exporting and importing into it, because of course we're doing it on the same side, which we do need to configure real fast. So just shift click, input output, auto input, auto output, and then that way we are configured. The next thing, I've got node overclockers. I'm going to throw 2 in here and 2 in here. We're going to do the exact same configuration on this one as well. So west, channel 0, west, extract, channel 1, and then I guess we do actually need to throw card overclockers in here too. So control click will increase this by 64. Shift click increases this by 10 or decreases, either or. The same thing here, control click or shift click to decrease it by 10. So that's a pretty good thing to know. So let's get this one as well. Channel 0. So we've got this one as channel 1 set on west. Of course, overclockers. Do not forget about those. Mostly on the overclocker side, we're doing this because we want to get the 64. So this way it pulls out as much as it can very, very quickly. Okay. And then now what we're going to do is on this side, we are going to import on channel 1. And then on this side down here, we're going to export on channel 0. And this side doesn't matter. The next thing we need to do is we actually need to do this. I did forget, turn on round robin here. And we're going to overclock this. And that should be cruising. So we're going to turn on auto split as well. So that way it just gets more in here. It's not going to export fast enough to really matter to fill these up enough. And if we wanted to, we could probably do the exact same thing we've done over here with the extraction modules, is we could just toss in one of these and set this to extract with 64 and then turn that down to 10 and see if this actually can speed this up a little bit, which it looks like it's going to. And of course, if we wanted to, we could grab a handful more of these guys and just make sure that there's no limitations on this one. Okay. See how we're getting at least 64 in here, which is fantastic. Fantastic indeed. And of course, let's make sure round robin's on both of those. That should kind of make it a little bit more even. But that is going to increase our ore production significantly. I mean, very, very significantly. And we can watch this barrel for a second here. We can see how much gold is dropping as of current, because this was pulling out gold before I sorted it. So I do see that there's one issue. We just saw that happen on this left, where the ore, the dust has been sent out. So we may need to put a block or something in front of here. So maybe we just grab like a glass piece. We still don't have clear glass. We have to have glass slabs. Was that what I just saw? What mod adds this? Glass essentials. Interesting. We're just going to put a piece of glass to cover this so it doesn't launch. And then if we need to, we could actually quickly access the thing here. Render area. And if we push this back 1, that would be perfect. And of course, we'll do that over here as well. Perfect. Let's get some of these holes patched. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to get this side done. So let me do that off camera. And it's going to set up the exact same way as we have it over here. And that'll be perfect. quick interjection here. If you guys are enjoying this video, please do leave a like and or subscribe, as it is greatly appreciated and helps me know that you guys are wanting more and more of this content. Of course, we are trying to release this daily, as well as other content, but of course, I'm on time crunch 90% of the time, and yeah, that is okay. If you guys do have feedbacks, comments, concerns, anything of that sort, please do leave a comment down below, as I do love interacting with you guys as much as I can, and we'll get back to the regularly scheduled program. Alright, so after the rainbow furnaces have been in place, I've actually let them run for a little while. This barrel is completely empty, and this barrel is getting there. So I have been just kind of letting it process, working on a couple other things. I've got an extended ME drive here now, and that is beautiful because you get 2 slots, 2 sides. So I've added a couple more 256Ks from AE2 things. I've also added the cobblestone cell, which just basically gives us infinite cobblestone. And of course, anytime we put cobblestone into the system, it will just go in here and it'll basically void it. But we have infinite, so whenever we need it, we have it. Some good stuff. Kind of just been slowly looking at some things, getting some stuff figured out. I've got our crafting storage pieces set to 256K, just because I think that would be a better idea. And of course, now more crafting co-processors, especially because we are not relying on the matrix to do a whole lot of stuff. We have, of course, now the molecular assemblers and the chandelier here, which it's been working perfectly. And one thing I wanted to investigate is somebody did mention that most likely it's because we had this out of the chunk, and this was actually in this chunk here. So this was in its own independent chunk, but this chunk is chunk loaded. If we look here, all the chunks around here are chunk loaded. So that is something that is interesting. I'm not 100% sure, but after removing the matrix, it was the issue. Nothing else was. We didn't really move or configure anything. So these wireless connectors were not the issue. It was just purely the actual matrix. So hopefully they get that figured out sooner or later. That would be fantastic. And yeah, so I've just kind of been working on things, getting some stuff cleared out, adding a rainbow furnace at our glass station, which means that we're completely out of sand. I've also added this simple compacting drawer to give us the actual block of silicone so we could run it through the circuit slicer. Kind of just been figuring things out, cleaning some stuff up, just getting some stuff done. Very minor stuff, but it's going to be stuff that will just overall impact us very greatly if we didn't do it anyway. And of course, I've also got this going, auto traders. These guys just have emeralds and books that I put in here. But we're getting Unbreaking 3 books. As of right now, I don't know of any method to actually get these books combined besides the Apotheosis enchant system, which is something I think I want to get into right now. We kind of been focusing a lot on technology and things like that, getting our AE2 system to be like max. And so I want to get into Apotheosis and kind of just get towards the Apotheosis. I think it's Apothic Enchant. Yeah, Apothic_enchant. So we want to look at this right here. So we want to get an enchantment library. An enchantment library will help us combine books. I don't think we can auto pull them out, but we could basically throw them in there and grab out a high level book without needing too much. So I want to get into this. And this, of course, would allow for us to add more Eldritch Miners, since we know for a fact that our system is able to keep up with all of it now. And of course, you know, slowly still cruising on this one. It's got like, what? That's 3 stacks of 65,000? No, 2 stacks now. So, yeah, I want to add more Eldritch Miners here because I think our system is able to hold it. And I want to get higher enchants without using a whole ton of levels or a whole lot of time. So yeah, and I think the best way to do this is with the deep shelves or the infused hell shelves. So it looks like the infused hell shelves may be the better idea, but I also know that we may want to look at getting the Library of Alexandria, which does require 100% Eternia and 100% Arcana, while 45 to 50% Quanta. So we need to get a couple things. So let's just get through this kind of normally. And I'm going to set this up down here for right now. And we're probably going to need multiple enchantment tables. But for now, we're just going to grab one. enchanting tables. Apologies. Enchanting table. I forget how incorrectly it's put in here. I'm gonna just grab like 256 paper real fast. Okay. We're gonna need this anyway, so may as well. Let's actually do that. Let's actually go in here and make like 500 books. Just because we're gonna need them. We're gonna need them for the bookshelf portion. Okay, so we'll set this here. And so by default, this has 15% quanta. You can see that up here in the Jade tooltip. So we have 0 Eternia, 0 Arcana, 15% quanta. Okay, and how we kind of go about this is we're going to need to actually make up some potions. So there's potions of regen. I do believe there's a handful of other potions required for this. And we're going to kind of have to remember how to do this. But yeah, so potions of regen. I'm probably going to want to go grab a whole bunch of these. Alright, so I just worked on brewing up some potions here. So we should now have the ability to get some hell shelves. I think what we could actually do real quick is look at advancements. I do believe there's an advancement tab for Apotheosis, if I'm not mistaken, unless it's been changed. Looks like we don't have one anymore. Okay, that's fine. So let's just look at our goals, right? So our goal is to get 100 Eternia and 100 Arcana, but before that, we need to get 45 and 30. So a Hell Shelf, let's see what Hell Shelf provides us. So that can give us up to 45 and 3% quanta every time. So let's just make up a few Hell Shelves. This shouldn't be too bad. Let's go 15. Just like a normal bookcase here. Okay. And let's see where that got us. So if I make a deep shelf, for example, the dormant deep shelf, and we throw this in here, where are we at? So we have tons of quanta, but we don't have a lot of Eternia. So that's 45 Eternia, of course, because that's what it said. And this requires 60 Eternia. So what we can also do is we could look up Eternia this way. So we may want to look at getting the infused. Maybe a sea shelf rather than the other one. Than the dormant. 2 deep shelf. Okay, so let's go sea shelf. By the seashore. Criteria not met. Are we above the limit? No, we don't have enough Arcana. And Arcana can actually be done with candles. So we could just place these around here. So that is not enough. Do I actually have candles in here? I do. Okay, I think we're good. So let's grab some lapis. What can we use these guys for? So we can get Sea Shelf of Aquatic Filtration. Prevent these from appearing in the table. So that's like a filter option, which is pretty cool. We've got the Heartforged Sea Shelf, and we have the Crystalline. So this would allow for us to get up to 60 with just using these, and basically max out our Arcana. And I don't think we actually want to max out the Arcana, right? We want to kind of keep that middle ground. So we don't want to look at the deep shelves. The deep shelves are kind of out of the option if we wanted to look at this. So the quanta does need to be 45 to 50. Okay. So let's take out one of these portions. Replace that with infused. And we could also infuse these hell shelves. And I'll take out a portion. I'll infuse these real quick. Okay, replace. And then I do think there is stuff to get rid of Quanta, if I'm not mistaken. Quanta. There's like the B shelf and melon shelf. So these, this one's Eternia, so this one's Quanta. So if we got melon shelves, that wouldn't be a bad thing, because that would give us less. Okay. So let's quickly see about making this here. Just kind of get this one out of the way. So we just would want to grab some health shelves real quick. So let's grab 4 of these bad boys. Grab 4 more just in case here. Okay. And then that should give us the enchantment library after we make the ender chests. And then so now we're going to kind of get towards this. So we just need to build up until that point, right? So we need to get Eternia maxed out, which the shelves we have just put down would get us up to 60. And we are currently at 60. Okay, so what's the next portion of this? So after the infused, this would get us up to 60. This would get us up to 60. What other shelves do we have? Apotheosis, Enchant. So we probably want to look at things like the deep shelf. The deep shelf isn't terrible, because that gives us up to 70, but we could look at getting further. So the end shelf or the pearlescent... Nope, not pearlescent, so draconic. Draconic end shelf looks like it would get us there. So we need infused dragon's breath, which requires a higher level. Okay, so we're kind of just tiering this up, right? That's what I'm thinking of right now, is how we're going to tier this up. Because we don't really care about the actual quantic stability. I don't know what in the world that is. Interesting. This is a different one. It's a new one. No idea what that one is. So let's go for some deep shelves then. Let's just try and stack this, right? That's what we're doing. Deep slate tiles. Go throw them into a furnace upstairs. Okay. And then that should get us the dormant deep shelf. Just 3 of them. We'll see if that's enough. Okay, so we are not anywhere close to this. 40 and 40 for Quanta and Arcana. Is there anything better for Arcana? So for Arcana, these basically give you 1.2. This one gives you 4. The end shelf gives you a little bit more. The stone shelf gives you 7.5, but there's decreases on everything else. So let's look at getting sea shelves rather than the infused hell shelves. Unless the infused hell shelves have something that we are not thinking of. 3.3. No, okay. So let's get that going. So sea shelves. Sea shelves. So we probably just want to grab a handful of these. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So 4, 4, 4. So let's go for 12. Let's just replace as many of them as we can. So we're just going to hold these in our inventory. Shift-click out, place in. Shift-click out, place in. Shift-click out, place in. So we're repeating this over and over again. I'm out of lapis. That's why it's telling me I can't do it. Okay. So if I get rid of these as well, and replace them with occultism's candles, that's actually much better than the normal candles. Okay, so now can we do this? No, because now we're out of quanta. Okay, so these add quanta. So if I just do Like that. That's perfect. So what do we have? So we have 12 infused sea shelves, several large candles, and I think, what are we at with that side? So Arcana's almost full, and Quanta and everything else is decent. So this is... What is that going to do for us? Have we maxed this out yet? So the total value is 100. This is 55, and that is 70. So we are full on that. So the deep shelf's not going to do anything more for us. So that would give it to 75. I would say we probably want to go for that one. This one here. Is that what I'm thinking? No, this one here. Bookmark that. That's what I was trying to do. So now if I were to knock out one of these guys, put that there, that would just slowly start increasing our stuff, right? So that would be more quanta. So, and I think I need to be between 40 and 50. How are we right now? So we're at 65. So this shelf actually is not helping towards our goal. So right now we're perfect on quanta. So we just need to get Eternia. Eternia... What are we looking at for Eternia? So that gives you 80. Realistically, yeah, we just need the Draconic, right? So that's the infused Dragon's Breath. So 80, 60, and we have to drop the Quanta. Okay, let me go get some more deep shelves real quick. I want to grab some more of those, because I think that's kind of what we're missing here. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I think we need to do here, I just had to look around a little bit more. So we need to get to 80 with this. So let's see. So I thought there was another type of deep shelf. So there is the Soul Touched. And then there is Echoing. So those only get you to 75. So we need to find out Apotheosis Enchant. What gives us to 80? So there is the Soul Touched Skulk Shelf. That's what I was seeing. So this requires the Soul Touched Deep Shelf. So I do have one Soul Touched. So that should get us up to... what, 70? So that's 80. So that's where we need to be. Right? 80, 15, 30, and 60. So Quanta, I need to get rid of it. If I can. So the candles are next. No, that's Arcana. I need Quanta. I think that's all we really have. So we may need to look at something like a melon shelf. Okay, so craft one of these and then convert it to a skulk shelf. This may get us to where we need to be. Maybe. We have three melon shelves, and that actually is good. So right now we've got 2 soul-touched skulk shelves, which get us up to 80. And then we have, of course, 12 infused hell shelves with 4 large candles. And that is giving us enough for the infused dragon's breath, which is fantastic. We're going to grab a handful of these. I want to at least get like 64. We'll call that good. Okay. So with these, of course, now we're going to make end shelves. And it looks like we need more of this. Clean up my inventory a little bit while we're at it. So let's grab 12 of these as well, because I know we're going to need them. Because we want to then get the Draconic, which does require Dragon Head. Do I have a whole bunch of Dragon Heads? I do have quite a few. Okay, so we're going to get probably like 2 of these. I think that should be golden. And then we need that library back, by the way. I did throw that in here on accident. So that's 100, that's 100. And then we just need to get the Quanta back up. I think silk touching these is probably a good idea. I don't know if they break into another form, but we're not going to attempt it. Okay, so that is perfect. So that is the Library of Alexandria, and that is awesome. So that is what? Just 2 Draconic end shelves, and then, what, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 infused sea shelves, and then 4 large candles with 2 soul-touched gulk shelves. Okay. Not terrible. We got there at the end of the day. And so what I want to do now is I want to take this backpack away and just feed into this. So we're going to do the exact same thing here as we have here and feed back into this. So now what we should be able to do is shift. So the max level is 5. Why is it 5? So all we'd really do is we would just grab out the 5s, right? And then we could just enchant them to be better. And we have like 400 points in here right now. And I have like 700 levels on me, which I don't know where I got 700 levels, but I got 700 levels apparently. And we could just do this. This is not the best method. Also, I could be using that backpack. What did I do with that backpack? That backpack actually has an anvil upgrade in it, which prevents us from actually needing to craft the bigger anvil or multiple anvils because it's unbreaking. So that's pretty cool. So let me just get through this. I'm going to just make this, right? That's kind of the point of getting into Apotheosis. And theoretically, if you wanted to, you could make all of these guys auto traders and pipe into this and really just have like a library of enchanted books. And that's kind of the main point of this library. In the other tier, it's just this one can hold more. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We are going to hopefully get a few more Eldritch Miners between this episode and next so we can just keep making this overpowered. I quickly want to go down here and actually look before we forget. How are we doing? We are empty on both fronts. I mean, you just saw how much was just put in there and immediately wiped out. Like, that's how insane this is. And I mean, if we went and looked at like gold, we have we have 500,000. I think by the time I started this, I had like 40,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, somewhere around there. So yes, we are climbing, we are golden, we are cruising, and this is absolutely beautiful. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.